This is a very cheap homemade zipper button board tutorial that kids can use for executive function skills. You'll need cardboard, an old t-shirt, some zippers. I was making two boards, so I got two. Make sure you get the kind that separate, and some buttons. The first step is to measure out the cardboard. I didn't even use a ruler. I just used the cardboard and laid out the zipper and the buttons to get the size that I wanted. The cardboard already has right angles and straight edges, so I just used a marker to mark out the size. I cut out two again because I was making one for both girls, and there we go. There's the inserts. I laid out the t-shirt and folded it over to make two. You don't have to do that if you're just making one. Make sure that you go a few inches above the cardboard to make a flap for the buttons. That's what I'm doing here. It's very easy to cut it out with a fabric cutter like this, but you can also do it with just scissors. So there was the back, and then the front is the same size as the insert, and then the flaps are the part that will make the zipper. Here I'm just laying it out to make sure that everything fits. You want to measure twice and sew once, people. You're essentially going to make a pocket here, and then those are the flaps that go on the front, the zipper, the two buttons. Apologies for the terrible camera skills I am still learning, and also apologies for the terrible sewing skills. This is not a fine piece of sewing, this is just a utilitarian mom tool. The first thing you're going to do, what I'm doing here, is sewing the zippers on to the two flaps. Make sure to do this first. It is much easier to sew a zipper on when it's not attached to everything else. So there's the zipper. Then you make the pocket. You sandwich the zipper flaps in between the inside and the outside pieces of fabric. When you're sewing the sandwich together, make sure that you just attach the flaps to the sides and not the top and bottom so it stays free. We're almost done. Next, you slide the cardboard in. I didn't show doing that, and lay out your buttons. Check the placement on the flap and make a small cut that fits the size of your button. How tight you make it is going to affect how easy it is to push the button through, so adjust for your child's strength and ability. Sew the buttons into place. Also, giving them extra string underneath will make them not too tight and easier to manipulate going through. Last, I just used fabric paint to reinforce the edges and the buttonholes because it's quicker than sewing. A word to the wise here, make sure to check your supplies before you start. I wanted my kids to practice with the open zipper. That's the hardest part for them, and I didn't realize I hadn't gotten one, so I had to completely undo the zipper part and then stitch in the separating zipper, and it is a lot harder to stitch that zipper on at the end instead of at the beginning. But with that out of the way, it's working now with a separating zipper. Yeah. And here it is, the finished project. Make sure you follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, on Medium for all of our teaching and OT tools at Annie Draws and More. Thank you.